the pro-Zionist lobby won. They were victory. They won. They own. This isn't anti-Semitic when I say this. Please don't interpret it. It's just a statement of fact. They own everything. And it's been a strategy that they've played. They own Congress. Benjamin Netanyahu brags about it. There's videos about him saying how he owns Congress. He bought them all. They all sing for him. He's a man of such arrogance and hubris. He came during a presidential election and spoke to Congress in a way to promote, Barack Obama's opponent. No one does that, but he did it because he doesn't care, because they literally have a blank check. Nobody held him. Nobody in Congress said, get the hell out of my country. I would have. That's why I would never get elected to Congress. But if Benjamin Netanyahu came to my house, the people's house, stood up and articulated against a sitting president during a re-election, I would have jumped out of my seat, rushed the stage, snapped his neck, and thrown his dead body outside, because that's what you do to people who interfere with your elections. We sit there and go, the Russians interfere. Hell no. Nobody interferes in an American election like the Israelis do. They have bought everybody in Congress. They own Congress. But worse than that, and this is where Ms. Reed's statement comes, they own the media. AIPAC owns, and again, this isn't the Jews. AIPAC. Look, I was there. I told you, when I resigned, I was recruited. They came at me hard from everywhere. They come out of the woodworks. I'd be doing a hit at NBC, MSNBC. It's funny enough, 6-month contract I had with them. And the producers come up and they hand me their AIPAC cards. Hey, Scott, we need to talk. Hey, Scott, we need to talk. Hey, Scott, let's have lunch. Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott. It is the Jewish lobby, not the Jewish. Sorry, that's anti-Semitic. That one you can hit me on. Okay. It's the pro-Israeli lobby. It's not the Jewish lobby. That's a horrible thing. I apologize for that. It's the Israeli lobby, the pro-Israeli. They are everywhere. They own everything. They run everything, and they all conspire together. They spy on behalf of Israel. Again, go back and look at what happened around the time when I resigned in the late 1990s, early 2000s. There was a scandal where a guy named Rosen, I think, in AIPAC, was conspiring with guys in the Department of Defense to get classified documents out so that he could hand them to this Israeli diplomat, the same diplomat that I worked with when I was at the United Nations. He was my cutout to Israeli intelligence, except I had permission to do that. But it turns out he was also a cutout between AIPAC and all that. The Israelis spy on America nonstop, and it was open book, everything. And what I'm trying to get at is, for most of this century, from 2000, especially after 2001, the global war on terror, the whole thing, until today, Israel's gotten a free ride. They don't even have to work for it. It's a free ride. All AIPAC has to do is open up a conference, put up a sign, and look at how everybody runs to AIPAC. Everybody got to speak at AIPAC, got to speak at AIPAC, got to speak at AIPAC. It's embarrassing. And literally, AIPAC doesn't hide it anymore. They are literally a front for Israel, but we're not allowed to call them that, or it's anti-Semitic. We're not allowed to say AIPAC needs to register as a foreign agent. Nope, anti-Semitic. AIPAC is an Israeli front. They are literally buying the United States Congress. And if you're an American, I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, agnostic, atheist, I don't care. This should insult you that a foreign power has bought the Congress. Look at the new Speaker of the House. First order of business, ladies and gentlemen, when America is falling apart at the seams, homeless, you name it, we got problems. First order of business, I'm going to pass money for Israel. What the hell? That means that America is not even number two. Americans are like not even on the front list. So Israel didn't have to work anymore. They aren't bird dogging people anymore. They took everything for granted. And they were on this smooth path to accomplish everything they wanted through the Abrams Accord. So they stopped working. They got lazy. They got soft. And then October 7th came in. And this rage that's been bottled up by people who felt so helpless, because if you were pro-Palestinian, and Danny, I think you're pro-Palestinian, but you tell me, you felt a sense of hopelessness and helplessness as the Abrams Accord took in, that nobody was advocating for them.
I think most people, as you said earlier too, in terms of this issue in general, it was not really in the conversation. Even right after the March of Return, when like kids were getting shot at for like peacefully going up to the gate, like by even that didn't create the kind of, I think, energy that we're seeing now in response to what Israel is doing. I think there was this hopelessness around the Palestinian cause, definitely, and I think
Yeah.
Israel's Saudi Arabia normalization would have been a
Killed it.
nail in that. It would have been,
Yep.
because I mean, we don't have to go into the itty bitty details, but we know that Saudi Arabia is a huge player in that region. For that to happen would be catastrophic.
Catastrophic. And so now what happens is nobody anticipated October 7th. So there wasn't a front loading of the Israeli propaganda machine. Israel was already in tatters because of Netanyahu's evisceration of basic law, and trying to take control of the judiciary, removing it as an independent agency. And so they're already on the defensive. You have a whole bunch of people going, well, Israel's really a democracy, but even the people that advocated for democracy are going, well, Benjamin Netanyahu's sort of destroyed this Israel. So the PR machine is falling in on itself, starting to argue against itself. There's a debate against themselves, etc. Boom. They don't have a plan. The whole world, they lost the script. It got out of control. The whole world's in the street and they don't know what to do. And so this is where you find out the true nature of people. When you strip away the pretense, when you strip away the scripting, the acting, and it just comes down, they're standing in front of you buck naked and they have to make a decision, you find out who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the reality of political Zionism, because that's what modern Israel is. It's not a democracy. It's not a nation that wants to live in peace and harmony with its neighbors. It's about the Israel that Benjamin Netanyahu has played a large role in creating. The Israel that assassinated Yitzhak Rabin is the ugly face of political Zionism, where they treat Arabs as animals. They view everybody as subhuman, and they don't care about the law. They will do everything necessary to achieve their objectives. This is the reality, and it's crude. I mean, look at the UN ambassador, the Israeli UN ambassador, how he is disgracing the memory of the Holocaust by putting on that yellow star, by parading around, by doing it. It's because they don't know what to do. They don't have a plan. So the only thing they can do is be honest for the first time about who they truly are.